Okay, so here we go. Slowly but surely, I've been working on this thing, kind of getting it ready to start a build. And you can see it's filthy. Right at the moment, I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to try to strip the interior out of the vehicle, and then I'll take it to the car wash and blast it out, get it really cleared out. So far, I've got about a half hour's worth of work in it. I want you guys to notice I've got these wires here that are cut off. Those wires all went to the bottom of the passenger seat. And so this connector right here, that's where I cut the wires. And the reason I cut them is because as I build this car, one of the things I'm going to want to do is take out all the wiring that I do not need for the car to operate. Okay, so anything that's not necessary for the operation of this vehicle, I'm going to take out. If I cut the wires, then I know that these things are not important to operation at all. And I know they're not important to operation because the first thing I did was unplug the hard shell connector. So I unplugged it right there. And then I started the car. Alrighty, seems to run. Anytime I go to remove wiring, I start by unplugging a connector and see if the car runs. If the car doesn't run, I need to figure out right then what it is that's in that connector that's important to keeping this car running. And if you don't do that, you run into exactly what a lot of people do. They shred a car. They just rip everything apart. They gut it. It looks great. It doesn't weigh anything. They go to start it. They can't start it. They don't have the ability to figure out what the problem is. And 2 years later, you're buying a cheap project from somebody because they couldn't make it run. So they lost interest. They couldn't waste time on it anymore. And then finally, somebody said, hey, get rid of this piece of crap. So my advice to you, always unplug, make sure it runs. If it still runs and everything that you need still works, then you can cut those wires. But don't cut the wires until you do that. As I said, I like to work kind of from the back forward. Now, I've got the passenger seat out simply so that I can get the carpet out. I need the carpet out so that I can start to really address the wiring in the rear of the car and figure out what I need to keep and what I don't. So for example, here I've got taillight wiring, but it's also wiring that goes to the rear wiper motor and defrosted stuff like that. I don't need those parts. I just need the taillight wiring. So if I pull my lights out, now I can identify what are the wire colors that I need. All right, so I've got this tan and white and a blue and a black. And I come over here and I find the tan and white and blue and black. And then I come over and look at these wires at the rear of this light and I figure out again, what do I need? Cut everything else, okay, and get rid of it. Take the motor out, take anything I don't need out, throw it away, cut the wires. And when I start thinning the chassis harness, I know exactly which wires I can pull, which wires I need to keep. So that's kind of the next step. As we're doing the disassembly, we really want to pay attention to electrical and wiring. And yeah, we're just taking these parts out and throwing them away. All right. But pay attention to your electrical, pay attention to your wiring. If you don't do that, I'm just afraid that you're going to end up with a big old mess that you're not going to be wanting to deal with. So thanks for watching.